Is this rain ever gonna stop? I've forgotten what the sun looks like. We should go on vacation. Somewhere warm. Somewhere sunny. Last one there's a Nork.
So, what? This is like 2 PlayStation characters I've done for this channel? I assure you, it's not out of any bias on my end. I just happen to adore the first character I covered for this channel, and I know more about the Purple Beast than BJ does, so I got stuck with the paperwork. Again, I'm sure I can mix it up another time with another character. I mean, either that or BJ could just come along and toss me a Matarasu or something. Never get a number on that guy. Anyway, Spyro. If you weren't the biggest fan of Crash Bandicoot, it was probably because this purple lizard caught your eye with his wide, expansive level design, collectathon elements, funny character interactions, and Tony Hawk simulators. And now to answer the age-old question, which Spyro? Seeing as we have 3 different versions, one of those versions having 3 separate continuities to it. Seriously, Skylanders has 3 separate universes, and it's dumb. So we're sticking closer to the original Spyro that we all know and love. No Legends, no Skylanders. We're taking things from the original PlayStation 1 trilogy games, games that shall not be named, GBA spin-offs, A Hero's Tale, and crossover title that never existed. And Shadow Legacy. Which means I have to refamiliarize myself with Shadow Legacy if I'm going to give him a proper moveset. You people better thank me for this.
Spyro would be a small, medium-weight character with a normal jump, but a very floaty double jump. He can jump thrice, crawl, and wall jump, but he cannot wall climb. Also, while this is purely a cosmetic thing, this would be a neat way to incorporate Spyro's sidekick Sparks to Dragonfly, as he will always be present flying around Spyro. Just as Sparks changes colors whenever Spyro takes a hit, he will change color in correspondence to Spyro's percentage. At 0%, Sparks will be a golden yellow, signifying that Spyro is healthy. At around mid-percent, being 50%, Sparks will turn blue as to indicate Spyro getting weaker. At around 100%, Sparks will turn green as to indicate Spyro is taking too much damage. And finally, at 150%, Sparks will disappear completely to signify that Spyro is in huge danger. And to be fair, this would be around where Spyro starts to develop rage, so he'd be getting rage off of you killing his best friend. And when Spyro is KO'd and brought back, Sparks will also come back and revert back to gold. Spyro's basic jab would be a horn jab, exactly how it is in Shadow Legacy. This would also be Spyro's only jab, where he wouldn't have any other attacks following up afterwards. Due to how quick the jab is, this would make Spyro's horn jab more comparable to Pikachu and Pichu's, only a bit slower but more damaging. Spyro's dash attack would be the charge attack. This attack would be unique, as this would be a dash attack you can hold out. As you hold the attack button while running, Spyro will continuously charge in the direction he's facing. The move would hit harder the longer the move is out. However, Spyro's end lag would increase the longer the charge attack is held out for. You also can't run off the ledge while using said charge attack, so don't think you can just reset your end frames by cheesing it with edge canceling. Nice try though. For his side tilt, Spyro would perform the tail stab, where Spyro thrusts his tail forward to pierce his enemy. There would also be a sweet spot on the talisman of Spyro's tail. Not exactly Ridley's ridiculousness, but a move that can deal good damage if sweet spotted, and a quick move for spacing. This can also be angled. His up tilt, Spyro does a tiny hop in the air and hits his opponent above him with his horns, and his down tilt, Spyro performs a quick claw swipe towards the ground and having a chance to trip his opponent. Spyro's forward smash would be his Ki wings from Shadow Legacy, where he surrounds his wings with Ki and slams them in front of his opponent. This be similar to how Palutena's F-Smash works, however, Spyro's F-Smash will increase in range the longer you hold the smash attack down for. So it's similar to how the attack becomes more powerful the longer you charge it in Shadow Legacy. His up smash, Spyro would use the Ki Punch, a small ball of energy that shoots straight into the air. The attack would work similar to Snake's up smash, only it wouldn't go back down, but as a result the attack is much faster. Spyro's down smash would be the Key Roar, where Spyro charges Key and lets out a mighty roar which releases a shockwave around him, launching any foe who touches it. The strongest hit being the center of Spyro and growing weaker the further the opponent is away from the initial attack. For his aerials, Spyro's neutral air would be a 180 horizontal degree spin with Spyro's tail out, in reference to Spyro's tail swipe technique from Shadow Legacy. His forward air would be the tail hammer, where he swings his tail upwards and back down on the opponent, with a spike hitbox on the talisman of Spyro's tail. His back air, Spyro claps his wings together and sends his opponent flying, similar to Corn's back air, but not giving him the push they get. His up air, Spyro does a left to right sweep with his tail, where the sweet spot is relegated to the talisman on his tail yet again. His down air, Spyro performs his signature horn dive, where Spyro does a flip in the air and goes straight down on his head. This move has a permanent sweet spot on it, meaning the attack will always spike if the attack is connected. However, the drawback to this is Spyro will only finish the attack once he touches the ground, so doing this off stage would guarantee death. But the opponent spiked by this move will always be KO'd before Spyro does. Also, even after landing on the ground, Spyro still has long end lag before he can get back up and move again. Majority of these moves are based on a fighting technique Spyro can use in Shadow Legacy called Dragon Kata. Think of it as Dragon Karate, because that's literally what it is, and the game tries to make it out to be more special than it actually is. Shadow Legacy is dumb. So, how do you try to sell the grab game of a character who's never been known for grabbing? Simple. You don't. But I have to, for I am contractually obligated to fill out this entire character's moveset. So, Spyro's grab would be him biting the opponent, meaning it would have a pitiful range, and Spyro would have to heavily commit to this move. Unfortunately, since Spyro isn't really known for doing any grabbing or throwing, I am going to have to make an exception and reference moves in which he can use within the Legend series, primarily Dawn of the Dragon, with my only argument behind this correlating to how Shadow Legacy and the Legends trilogy are both developed by the same people. The Dragon Karate used within the Legends trilogy is the same as in Shadow Legacy, so fair game. I promise this is the only time I will stretch for this. His pummel would have him bite down hard on the foe. Spyro's forward throw, he swings his neck about and tosses the foe in front of him. Similar to Charizard's forward throw. It wouldn't be as strong, but if used at the ledge, can set up for edge guards. His back throw, Spyro will spin around for a moment before tossing his opponent behind him. His up throw, Spyro uses his horn toss, where he scoops the enemy up and tosses them into the air. Just don't stand too close if you respect your eyeballs. Spyro's down throw, he leaps into the air with the foe and scratches them with his hind legs for about 4 to 5 hits, then slams them to the ground. This is in reference to one of his throws in Dawn of the Dragon when Spyro grabs somebody in the air and just kinda mutilates them. Oh dear, geez, Spyro, you're a monster. Yeah, kids, cover your eyes. This is getting kinda gruesome. And now that we get to the special moves, we can fully remind ourselves as to why purple dragons are indeed such a special creature. Spyro's neutral special should be pretty obvious. He's a dragon, so let's make him breathe fire. However, instead of making his Flame Breath another copy of Charizard and Bowser's Flame Breath, I'm giving him his original Flame Breath from the PS1 trilogy, where Spyro spits a chunk of fire in front of him and it pushes the opponents back. I'm aware doing this would make the Flame Breath feel more like Lucas's PK Fire. However, to keep it from being an exact copy, the Fire Breath doesn't shoot out like Lucas's, and it only covers half of the range. That and it wouldn't end up being the Flame Breath from the crossover game that never existed, so either way, we all win. His forward special, Spyro would perform the Bubble Breath from Game That Shall Not Be Named. Bubbles come out which can temporarily trap opponents in bubbles, which can set up for follow-ups. Players can mash out of the bubbles for the record. For his up special, the whirlwinds from the original trilogy would spawn below Spyro and carry him up a good distance. He swirls around in said spiral and breaks into a glide at the apex. He would be capable of acting out of this move, but he cannot resume the glide once he's committed to an attack, and cannot do the up special again. Also, Spyro's spinning would shift his hurt box as he's spinning around, so edgeguarding him wouldn't be so straightforward. Spyro's down special would be his Ice Breath, where he fires a stream of cold breath in front of him, freezing anything it hits. Think of this being like the Ice Climbers move where they shoot a stream of ice. It'll be multi-hit like theirs and can freeze an opponent after a while. However, it has longer range than the Ice Climbers with the cost of not freezing them sooner. Spyro's final smash involves the super flight gate popping up in front of him and Spyro rushing right through it and hitting an enemy. Anyone hit by this will trigger a cinematic where all of Spyro's friends come in and wombo combo the opponent. Hunter, Sheila, Sergeant Bird, Bentley, Agent 9, Bianca, then finishes off with Elora giving Spyro the Super Flame Orb power-up, where Spyro just nukes whoever got caught in the final smash. Not only would this be a great nod to the original Insomniac trilogy, but it's also a reference to how in Year of the Dragon, the final boss of each area involved the friends you saved from Moneybags actually helping you in the boss fight. Now to cover Spyro's alts. These were pretty easy to come up with given that in between Spyro's 1 to Shadow Legacy, not only did we get a few DA recolors to join the roster, but we also have a few other Easter eggs that can be referenced. Spyro's first alt is being completely green. This is in reference to Spyro's beta design where he was originally going to be a green dragon, but was changed to purple so he wouldn't blend in with the environment. His second alt, Spyro would be completely red in reference to Flame from A Hero's Tale in Shadow Legacy, who is literally just a red Spyro with a nasal congestion. His third alt, Spyro would be completely pink in reference to Ember from A Hero's Tale in Shadow Legacy. She's literally quite the Sakura in Spyro. Pink, does absolutely nothing useful, and constantly crushes on Spyro despite having no interest in her. But you can burn her with Flame Breath at least, so there's something she's good for. The fourth alt, Spyro goes completely orange. This would be in reference to Ripto, everyone's favorite Spyro antagonist from Spyro 2, and the GBA titles except Season of Ice. I guess it could be a reference to the orange Spyro code from crossover game that never existed, but as we established, that game never existed. His fifth alt, Spyro would be yellow with black spots covering his body. This is in reference to Hunter the Cheetah, Spyro's companion whose mental stability is questionable. We need to save the eggs to save the Dragon Realms. Why are you making me skateboard for them? How many are you hoarding? His sixth alt, Spyro, is completely blue in reference to the sorceress from Spyro Year of the Dragon. And his last alt would be Spyro with bright purple scales. This is in reference to Spyro's Japanese design where his color scheme is much brighter than over here in America. Spyro's entrance would be him gliding onto the stage just as he does in the Spyro 1 title screen. His up taunt, Spyro looks around the stage similar to his idle animation where Spyro just looks around the level. His side taunt, Spyro yawns and is about to go to sleep until Sparks flies up and wakes him back up. You know, now that I think about it, this is the second character I've covered where they are both a PlayStation character and have a small floating companion. I really am covering Amaterasu next, aren't I? And as down taunt, Spyro grooms himself from the scrub emanating from his opponent's soul. Or at least that's what I like to think of it as. I mean, just look at him. He totally thinks he's better than you. For his first victory screen, Spyro does a shuttle loop glide in the air and lands on the ground assuming his pose from the Reignited trilogy. His second victory screen, Spyro shows up on a skateboard as he skates around and performs a trick on it. His final victory screen shows a sheep on the screen until Spyro charges into it and assumes the pose that he makes on the cover of Attack of the Rhinox. Note, for all these victory screen animations, Sparks can be seen randomly flying about, like that photobomber you usually find lurking in your family pictures. And that's just about it. Not gonna lie, Spyro is someone who I would love to see in Smash, even if it would make me conflicted in who my overall mains should be. I can't drop Palutena for I've sold my soul to her upon her trailer release, and Snake has my dots. But even if he was put in the game, I wouldn't hesitate to give him a shot. If you'd like to see another character discussed, leave a comment down below on who you would like to see star in the next video, or contact BJ at BrawlFan1 on Twit. Thank you so much for watching, and now if you excuse me, get back here, Hunter, you still have my ass!